interesting. As we load in, Azure gonna be rocking the classic portraits. Oh, we actually can't see it. Oh, there we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the American Terran player representing his new team, Platinum Heroes. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the Australian Terran player, currently teamless. It's the Red Terran. It is Azure. Freaking never learning from their mistakes moment. I mean, it makes sense. Like it was basically they hosted an event for you to broadcast the GSL qualifiers, and the requirement was it had to be on their platform. I understand. So yeah, we did cast that a couple of weeks ago before GSL started. Some really sick games were had, really sick games. Fun fact, we do actually have permission to cast, now that the event has ended. We do have access and we have permission to cast the rest of the qualifying matches, because we only casted 3 qualifying matches from GSL and there are so many more, and we have permission to cast them all on Twitch. So we may do that. I still have to figure out how I want to organize it, because we can cast the GSL qualifiers, but GSL has already started, and we can also cast GSL itself. So because of that, I have to figure out, like, do we want to try and catch up with the qualifiers first and then do the GSL cast, or because GSL already started, do we just want to jump into it straight away? We're still deliberating about what we want to do there. We'll figure it out. As we're getting into our TvT, and so far nothing too crazy. Both players are going to be going for double gas openers here. You love to see it, both mirroring each other. Are you allowed to upload the free cast to YouTube? Yes we are. They will eventually be uploaded to YouTube. God, but those are free casts were so good. Or the games were so good. We casted Innovation, we casted Ragnarok, we casted Stats, Creator, Bunny, Hero. Good stuff. Bunny. But of course, we have our own TvT here, and we do see both players, again, like pretty similar builds overall. Azure a couple of seconds faster with his CC, a couple of seconds faster with his with his Hellion as well, but nothing too crazy. We see both players getting into the reactors as well and getting into double Reaper production. With our initial Reapers, we're not really going to be being too active because we don't want to be caught out by like double Rax open or anything like that. So for the time being, both players are in the dark as to what each other's doing. Well, actually, Vindicta did go for an SCV scout. Never mind. Vindicta, he knows. Vindicta at least knows about the double gas opener. Azure playing blind in the dark. Until, of course, we have enough Reapers and Hellions to be active on the map. And here we go. Three Reapers and 2 Hellions are moving out for Azure. We're going to have the same amount of units back at home for Vindicta, so it's going to be about positioning whether or not Azure can find any damage and can break in and maybe even delay the CC. Ooh. Meanwhile, because there is no ramp into the natural, Vindicta is waiting on top of his own ramp instead in his main base, and that does mean that CC is exposed and the SCV will go down. Oh my god, the volleys! Vindicta not taking the best fight there. He's going to take some Hellion shots to the face, and this doesn't bode well here. Already losing one of his Reapers as well, but here come the reinforcements. He does have the defender's advantage. Up. Oof. And after all said and done, it does look like Vindicta comes out on top here. Did end up getting his CC delayed, but he will clean everything else up. There we go. To be fair, again, Reapers and Hellions, they do kind of run out of value as the time goes on, so Azure, he wants to get rid of them. Likewise, Vindicta wants to make use of them in some way. There's going to be zooming across the map, looking to find some damage. We already have a Cyclone back at home. We don't have that much to protect it, so possibly Vindicta could try and dive on this and try to focus it down. Oh! Azure, fully aware, does back off. And both players will calm down from here. We do have a very interesting follow-up though. I love it. We haven't been we've been seeing this like pop up more and more frequently here. The 2-1-1 in TVP and the 2-1-1 in TVT as well. A risky move, Poppy. Risky move. It does delay your Ravens. It does delay your tank production, but we are going for it. With this, we're gonna have faster stim. We're gonna have that double medevac coming out as well. Meanwhile, Vindicta is in the dark as to this is happening. TWHK is thrown down on location. Vindicta going for a much more standard setup. 1-1-1 into Ravens, into tank. TWHK in the main base. Vindicta playing standard. Azure mixing things up. Oh, the lock-on. Oh, and Azure will come out worse for wear here. He will lose his Cyclone. We have a scan into the main, and Vindicta, he sees the production. He sees the 2 medevacs. He knows about the 2-1-1. He is going to be rushing back home. Going to be preparing here for the drop. There is a lot of power here, but I feel like a lot of the strength of the 2-1-1 in TVT is for it to be unscouted. As it is looking to slip into the main base. Bearing in mind he does have stim. Vindicta does not. We do have a tank here in both the main and the natural. Yeah, he is ready for it. Azure not really finding too much damage here. I think we saw this in Azure versus Hon Mono actually a week ago. Oh, as Vindicta, he even slips out across the map and delays the CC on location. You love to see it. Oh, Azure though, he does drop into the main base. Vindicta, he has eyes on this, but he can't really do anything about it. Meanwhile, the Raven goes across the map to try and go for some auto turret house. Here we go, the Marines, they do stim on 4. They do take down a depot. Just a depot. Not really finding too much more damage here. The double Raven harass though with the double auto turrets. Oh, Azure's losing quite a lot here. He does take 2 tank shots to the face. Ay, ay, ay. A decent chunk of his Marines go down. And the auto turrets, they don't stop, man. They don't stop. Unfortunately, we don't have WCS game heart. Feels bad, man, but in the end, oh my god, Azure lost 10 SCVs. One of them was to the Reaper, of course, but 9 more SCVs going to be going down. You can see that reflected here in the workers. Vindicta taking a pretty substantial lead. More SCVs being focused down here in the main. The Ravens still threatening both bases. Azure having a hard time keeping up. On top of that, this opener here from Azure didn't really do too much damage either. And again, the danger here is that Azure, he doesn't really have too much potential when it comes to straight up fights. Like, he doesn't have any Ravens for disables. His tank count was going to be hindered, but he does have drop potential. He can even doom drop into the main, and I think that's what he wants to go for. Oh, but Vindicta is already working on a sensor tower here. Does go for the scan, does spot the army. We just load on up. The sensor tower, is it going to finish up in time? Oh! It's a couple seconds away. The drop is coming on in, and he's not going into the... Oh, no, he is. He's going straight to the main base, and what is there in position? Oh, a full medevac is going to be going down to the Vikings, but only 1. Second medevac goes down with only a handful of units in it. The tanks do siege. And Azure, he is camping the production. The tank, it goes down. The boys are being pulled. But into Marines, that is not going to work out. GG gets called, and just like that, Azure takes game number 1. Oh my god. I love it. The 2-1-1 into a doom drop. Oh god. Vindicta, he was seconds away from finishing up that sensor tower, and if he had, he would have had more time to reposition his army and get eyes on the doom drop. Ah, GG. GG. Innovation? Yeah, we did cast innovation. Meanwhile, shout out to Blaker dudes in the chat. Thank you, puppy. Thank you. Thank you for the 100 bits. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Oh. As we do continue the cast, and we continue the series, as game number 2 is looking to be on Gressvan. And now you can see what I was talking about. Azure with the chin toss. It's crazy. I didn't know he was a classic fan. But here we go, spawning. Oh, my apologies. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressvan, we have the American Terran player representing Platinum here is currently down in this series, but not out, not yet. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressel, we have his opponent. We have the player currently leading the series 1-0. The Australian Terran, it is Azure. Wow, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed here that Azure was able to take the first game. In general, Vindicta is the favorites, 100%. He's one of the best Terrans in all of America, in all of the North America even. And yeah, for Azure to fight back here in TvT is really impressive stuff here. To be fair, it was a bit of an unorthodox build and a bit of a Hail Mary play as well to go for that 2-on-1 and to go for the Doom drop. But you know, it's TvT, it works. Sometimes you gotta do something crazy, and that's the other really impressive thing about Azure. We talk about this all the time whenever we cast him in GPO, but Azure, he is kind of a jack of all trades. He has a lot of builds under his belt. He's a very, very versatile player. He can play mech, he can play bio, he can play 2-on-1, he can play 1-on-1, mind drops, cyclone heavy styles. Like, he is such a, yeah, he has a lot of diversity to how he plays. It's really impressive. It's one of my favorite aspects of casting. Always be difficult to read what he is up to. Goes for proxies. And yeah, we'll see how this does unfold, as game 2 so far, the openers are going to be mirroring each other. Once again, double gas openers from both players. You love to see it. And this time we do see Azure is actually going to be scouting, or he's actually going to be SCV scouting. Something that he did avoid in game 1, but did do here in game 2. I guess it makes sense. After he does take a lead in the series, he wants to make sure he doesn't get cheesed out. As the SV is rushing back home. And, oh, the SV is going to be able to tank the first shot. Vindicta, he's going to be able to take advantage here of that Reaper, and he's going to be able to get an SCV kill. Oh, the grenade. Oh no, but he has overextended a little bit here with the second Reaper. Azure does clean him up. It's a bit of a tit for tat. In the end, I do feel like Azure came out on top. Again, killing a Reaper as opposed to Vindicta that didn't really kill too much. Oh, just flying too close to the sun. And this is the big reason why, by the way, Terran players usually don't move out with one Reaper, because the likelihood of there being a second one on the way for your opponent is pretty high. So that's why I was a little bit surprised here that Vindicta did, or was as aggressive as he was. Now he's going to be at a bit of a unit disadvantage here. He does come in to build his CC, and it looks like with the reinforcements, Vindicta should be able to defend. Oh! Nice target firing though from Azure. Does kill, does snipe that SCV. Oh, it's upside down. I don't think that's normal. Kuro, if you're watching, we're gonna need to fix that. I mean, maybe that's the Australian side of the map. It's possible. It's possible. Or I should say the American side of the map. Aye, aye, aye. But yeah, hopefully it's okay. Outside of this, we are just going to be getting into our standard expands. We're going to be going into a bit of a tank drop, though. Azure is. He does have a CC on the high ground, though, and Vindicta is not fully aware of that. Wasn't able to scout that. Oh, but does spot that drop. As we do see a bit of a skirmish here. Vindicta trying to slow this down, picking up whatever he can. Again, trying to trade out as efficiently as possible with his Reapers and with his Hellion. He's going for the tank. Oh, boy. Does at least confirm it. And back at home, Vindicta, he can prepare. Got his own Cyclone on the way. Reapers go for a counterattack. What do we have at home to defend? We do have a Cyclone for Azure. Should be okay. Oh! Oh, as Vindicta does dive on in. A bit of a misstep with that Cyclone. Took a while to really lock on to anything, but will eventually clean all this up. And Azure does go for his drop across the map. Does he have enough, though? Oh, hot pick up there on that Marine. Does cancel the lock on. Nice moves there from Azure. Tank is within range of that CC. Oh, once again picks up the Marine. The micro, puppy. The micro. Azure not really known for his micro, but Yeah, picking up whatever units he can, saving whatever units he can, I should say. Oh, but the medevac is being focused on by the Viking. Now he's forced to commit. Will be forced back. The boys are being pulled. Vindicta will clean this up. But it did cost him quite a number of SCVs. 5 SCVs do go down. Hey, not that bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit worse. Azure fighting for his life, but not really getting the damage that he wanted, I think. As the worker counts are quite even. Behind this, both players throw down their third CCs. And we do have our standard setup. Vindicta, of course, taking a bit of a lead in the tank count because he didn't lose his zone. We have our Ravens moving out once again. We saw that Vindicta was doing a great job at harassing and picking off workers in game 1. Wasn't able to defend against the Doom drop, but the Raven control, the Raven harass was on point. As we scan into the main, just to confirm, okay, no 2-base all in. We do have a third CC on the way. Very important scout there from Vindicta. But an interesting change of pace here. Throwing down 2 more Raxes here. Kind of a standard setup of 2 bases, 3 racks, 1-1. But interesting that Vindicta decides to turn back around with his Raven, thinking better of like using its energy, recognizing that he's going to be needing it to disable tanks, not so much harass the mineral lines. As we do see the Marines fan out here to try and catch any of these drops. And thankfully, Azure does scan ahead of time. He's aware of the positioning of the army. He has to be very careful with how he approaches this. Likewise, Vindicta also counter scans, does spot the army. We have the disables. 2 tanks do get disabled. We have the auto turrets, but again, it looks like Vindicta, his position may just be too good. He has 2 tanks as opposed to the 1. Yeah, the disables run out, and Azure is going to be losing everything here. Does land the Vikings. Is going to be able to trade out a little bit better. But Vindicta holds. It was an interesting trade. Like, Azure lost all of his tanks, but he saved his Ravens. Did I speak too soon? Did save his Ravens. Meanwhile, Vindicta, he kept some more tanks alive, but he lost his own Ravens as well. So, yeah. Both players with their own advantages. And speaking of, we do have that auto turret harass going into the main base. Azure has to be very careful though with his movement. Vindicta, he wants to try to catch those Ravens. Oh, and he will. One of them will go down. Can he get the second? Oh god. Oh no! I love it. Azure trying to be cheeky, hiding on that Overlord pillar, but he will lose both of them to the Cyclone. Oof. And I have to say that Vindicta did come out on top after that trade. After killing those Ravens, yeah, did come out better for it. As Azure does back off, working on his Viking production, saturating his third base. He's actually ahead in the worker count. And similar to last game, actually, Vindicta is going to be throwing down that sensor tower as well. Miguelito a little bit paranoid about another Doom drop. Doesn't want to get caught out like game 1. Sensor tower a little bit later here by Azure, and that's going to be a little bit scary. Like, Migs has potential for drops here. He's got these medevacs. They're going to be scanning each other. Azure does see that the army is missing. It's somewhere else. Where is it? Yo, the deja vu. This is how Azure won game 1, by the way. And here we go. The tower is now done. He scans. He sees the drop. He knows. He doesn't want to get dirty. He doesn't want to lose the way that he won. Oh boy. Yeah. Tower finish up just in time, and Migs is forced back, and oh, now we can settle down a little bit here, establish our 3 bases. Migs already working on his 4th CC. Azure instead throwing down 3 more Raxes. Gonna be a little more committed here on 3 bases. Drops do pass in the night. Both so on top of each other's movement here. Azure sneaking out across the map so far unscouted. Does scan, spots all the tanks, spots the lack of anti-air. It wouldn't be bad to drop on this, but instead he goes for the natural. Denies the 4th CC. Didn't even go for it, but did force a cancel. He's going to be able to focus down the CC. Oh, the natural. Wow, he gets the orbital. Oh my god. The orbital goes down. The Marines going ham here in the main base. Ooh. Gonna pick up and get the hell out of there. Meanwhile, the Vikings are patrolling in the dead space. They're waiting for any kind of drop. So far, Migs just hasn't been able to find a way in. Oh my god. I didn't even see the turret. Turret gets a medevac kill. You love to see it. But the pressure is now on Vindicta. The advantage that he once had is now gone. He lost the base. He lost his 4th CC. Massive blow to his economy. Liberators looking to slip into the main, but Vikings are waiting for them. Oh. They weren't quite looking for Liberators, but regardless, they get value. Meanwhile, Azure, he's just cleaning up all these spotter Marines. Even spotter Marauder, randomly. So we're going to be scanning each other. The Bio Army is missing. Azure is fully aware of that. As the second Liberator does go down in the end. And Vindicta is still trying to find a way in. Go does pick up in the end. The multi-pronged aggression. We have a quadruple drop towards the right-hand side. A double drop here on the left. Does try to pick off a tank, but no. Azure was in position. Oh my god, no! No, he catches the drops! Oh, both medevacs go down. Ay, ay, ay. Miguelito. Meanwhile, I can't say the same here for Migs. He doesn't catch the medevacs of Azure. He's able to pick up and get out of there. Oh my god. Do you see Migs trying to expand and take his own 4th, but Azure is there to deny him at both 4th locations. Do you see the mass scans? Getting eyes on everyone. Vindicta does have the upgrade lead. He does have 2-2 to only the 2-1 of Azure, and he's going to be able to take this fight, cleaning up all these Marines. The upgrades and numbers just too heavily in Vindicta's favor, but the main army is coming in behind this. Azure is maxed. Vindicta, he sees it. He sees the army. He will have the defender's advantage, but he just doesn't have the numbers. He's going to be pulled apart here. Another drop is coming in. Again, losing that natural base was just too much. Here we go. The 4th is going to be denied. Vindicta, he sees, he knows. Oh my god, he's crazy. No, he's going to be losing a tank as well. A couple too many mistakes here, and pushing into this tank line is going to be a tough ask, but yo, Azure, he doesn't care. He pushes on forward anyway. He focuses down every single tank. They all go down. The 3rd base is forfeit. Vindicta going for Liberator harass in the middle of all of this. He's got to do something. But he runs into reinforcements. Oh my god. And as Migs tries to take the 3rd base, Azure was waiting for him with the Marines. SCVs, they get annihilated. Hey, Azure's popping up. I'm just saying, Papi. Oh my god. And here we go, the Doom drop into the main base. We do have Marines to try and stop him, but it's not going to be enough. The tanks do cover the drop. And Azure is once again on top of the production. We need to force to react here, bringing everything back into the main. And that is going to expose his 3rd CC. Azure, he unsieges, will lose 1 tank. But, oh my god, he gets every single worker here. Oh my god! 57 SCVs have died this game, and counting. 60. And Azure drops back into liberation zones. Not the not the best drop into the main, to be fair. Does lose a little bit too much, but regardless, still worth it here. right on the mark. 60 SCVs. Azure has remaxed, still been unhindered here on 4-base economy, taking a 5th as we speak. Doing the best he can to just choke Vindicta out. Now he can still take a fight overall, like Vindicta is down 30 supply, to be fair, 30 army supply I should say. But if he does siege first, he can take it. Here we go. The armies do miss each other. We may as well just go for a base trade, but there are tanks back at home to defend. Here we go. Azure is committed to the base trade. Vindicta forcing himself up the ramp. He will eventually clean up all these tanks, but he's losing quite a bit. GG gets called, and Azure, he takes the series 2-0. It's crazy. Oh my god. GG, well played. Wow. Taking down the best Terran player in America, in North America. Oh my god. I'm a little bit in shock. I'm a little bit in shock. Again, Vindicta, to be fair, I know that he has been taking a little bit of a break from the game, has recently come back, and I know that TvT is where Azure can punch up. He's a bit of a TvT specialist, but so is Vindicta. You know, I'll always bring it back to Vindicta taking down Bjorn a couple of months ago now in an ESL Open Cup. GG, well played. Congratulations to Azure. He does move on to the upper bracket finals, where he's going to be facing Trigger. Again, we casted it earlier. Trigger did 2-0 Parker Mike. Azure 2-0 is Vindicta, and now they're going to be facing each other. Let's go, puppy. Let's go.